Kosten Amadeo Bagnes Sieg. Er kommt ins Ziel.
Italy, Alexander Schlitter, Austria, Daniel Bertel, USA, Amadeo Papis, Italy, Felix Seiber, Germany, 1-6.
There's so many.
Lights Club Bobsleigh. Check is clear.
With a 51.99. We'll start 4.93. Half a second off the start record. Actually, that means our start record might be a little under threat here this morning. Take a look again. Exit of 14. Looking to try and keep it off that left-hand wall. Just a little bump there. So Vladislav Polivac, that might be one and done for him in this huge field. Third of our starters, the Aussie Nick Timmings. This is only his second World Cup race of the season. Debuted in Lillehammer last week. Joe Cicchini, the Canadian coach, helping there with the sled. Great looking suit and helmet as ever from Nick Timmings, one of the two brothers, Nick and Dean, both racing here in World Cups over the years, although neither have raced here exactly. This is his first time in Sigulda. World Cup best 19th place in Altenburg in December 2021. And if he can get into the second heat, that will be a big feather in his cap on this demanding driver's track. Lots of very quick transitions. Their best speed at the moment. 4,500s back on Lucas Defaye of France. It's a tough, physical track, this. It can be really bruising when you come here for the very first time. And Nick is finding that again. Just 6 runs in training. And looking likely to be only 1 run in the race as well. 52.40. So he's trying to get himself back race fit, ready for Altenburg and the World Championship in Winterberg. So 52.40 for Nick Timmings. I have to say, after the Winter Games, wasn't sure we'd see either Nick or Dean competing, but
a crazy track.
It is a crazy track. Rough, tough, and bad to know. Okay, now then, into the lead group in the world. After the first 3 sliders, we get Marcus Wyatt. Now, the random draw for the next group of athletes has seen him get 4th starting position. Silver medalist here last time out. 2 medals here, in fact. Bronze in 2020, silver last January. Let's see if he's got what it takes today. Start record 4:43, 4:61. Got to be super quiet into corner 2 and 3. Try and avoid the hit into 4. 3,200s up, but it's not about the first 3. It's about the leading group that chased him down. He's got good early ice, good speed as well. Dipping out of 13 into 14, trying to keep it straight. 6/10 up. Track record, 49.45. We could be close. We could be close. And a crop line, 50.43. Not as close as I thought, maybe. Martin Stucco set the track record back in November 2020, one of his numerous wins on this track. In fact, Nikita Tregebov won the first World Cup race here ahead of Martins. But Martins then won 4 in a row until he retired. I'm trying to keep it straight and quiet. All right. Well, not sure that Marcus is convinced that's a winning run, but it's always hard to tell. 2 days since they trained. And then our last winner on this track, and coincidentally the European champion, that wasn't here, that was in Altenburg last year. Matt Weston, world champion, European champion. Pretty good season for him last year in terms of medals. 7 career wins. Can he add to it today? 4:61 is the start, same as Marcus Wyatt. All right, 4:43, Yin Cheng of China. It's an epically fast start. Matt trying to keep it neat and tidy early on. $700 up, slender lead over Marcus Wyatt. So either Matt Weston is also struggling, or Wyatt's run was better than he thought. 1100's back, you can hear a lot of toe steering. Helmet on the ice there as well, keeping his head buried. Only the 3rd best speed. Marcus Wyatt's going to lead. Matt Weston in 2nd by 1700s. Apologies to those of you who are watching us. We had a little audio gremlin right at the beginning of the heat. Probably come as blessed relief to most of you after what will, in the beginning of what will be a long day of action. Well, nice load from Matt Weston. Started the same speed as Marcus Wyatt, but a few more errors creeping in down the track. Didn't quite have the control I think he thought he was going to get. 1700's back on Marcus Wyatt. The winner last year, Matt Weston.
Next on the start,
Yin Cheng of China, our start record holder, our push world champion last year as well. Perhaps no surprise that he had a start record here. Lillehammer last week, his World Cup best, a 4th place finish. He was 6th here in the race last year. He's had 3 World Cups and bronze in the Intercontinental Cup before that. And a start 4:59. 1600s away from his start record. 200s quicker than Marcus Wyatt and Matt Weston. So Yin Cheng still producing the good in the start area. 900s up. 1200s up. Having a very nice run here. A little wild maybe. So important to keep the speed under control when you get out of the lower labyrinth. Huge skid. 1200s up. Still best speed. Wild ride. Dirk Matchens prepping the sleds and giving advice here. He's trimmed them out for speed. Does he lead at the line? He does by 1900s. Well, wild ride, lots of skids, toe action and helmet scraping, but still fast at the bottom. Yin Cheng leads by nearly 2/10 over Marcus Wyatt, 3600s over last year's winner, Matt Weston. That was a really strong run. He still gets sideways out of 14 a little. Look at this. Sled breaks into a big skid. The slow-mo really shows you just how tiny the contact patch is. It's not the full length of the runners, otherwise they really would stop going sideways. The cage tiger of skeleton, Felix Geisinger, still just 25 years of age, 5 World Cups here in Sigulda, all in the top 6. November 2020, silver medalist. That's his best result here. European bronze medalist in 2020 as well. Only 5th last year. 4:65 the getaway for Kaisi. I wonder if he's trying to focus a little more on the drive than on that explosive start. It's his 31st World Cup start. Kaisi will yet to claim gold. 2 silvers, 3 bronzes in that time. 1700s back, so he's right where Marcus Wyatt was. Now he's dropping back into the clutches of Matt Weston. 4th best speed. This is going to be 4th at the line. And 53 hundredths back, 50.77.
Am Start.
Again, these high speed corners, the exits are so critical in linking them together. Yeah. Disappointed Felix Geisinger, 4th after just 7 sleds. Well, next up is Axel Jung of Germany, bronze medalist in the European Championships last year. Only 10th in Sigulda last season, though. And Axel, only 3 World Cups here in his sort of sporadic season. His best was actually his first appearance on this track. He finished in 8th place. European bronze medalist in 2018 and 2023. Don't forget European Championships as well here this morning, 4:72. And that is part of his issue this season, is those starts. Marcus, Axel, lots and lots of toe scratching. Only the 5th best run at the moment. Helmet down on the ice and across the line, 51.14, 9/10 back. And he'll be doing well to get a top 10 out of that one, I'm afraid. And again, high late exits, not feeling the love at all here this morning. Lots of steering work going on, knees digging into the sled, lots of toes. Didn't have the control and was fighting it all the way down. Yin Cheng didn't seem to have the control, but tried to fight it a little less. So Yin Cheng leads. What about his teammate Chen Wenhao, the 27-year-old? Only appeared here last season for the first time in World Cup racing, finished in 9th place. 1 silver, 1 bronze in his 17 previous World Cup races. 4:61, 4:59 rather, it's fast start at the moment from Yin Cheng. 4:67. Trying to keep it neat and tidy as you head into the upper labyrinth, whipping out a 6. 7 and 8, 9, and big right-hander at corner 10, then big left at 11. Transition, quick short shoot into 12, whipping into 13. This is where it can all come unglued so rapidly. Out of 14 onto the straight. Honestly, sometimes I have no idea how they can really judge the steers at the speed that they're doing. It's absolutely got to be instinctive here. And across the line, 5th best, 50.80. We have very long first heat, 36 sleds before we know who is where. Right now, at least Chen Wenhao in 5th place ahead of Lucas Defaye, but only 300s behind Felix Kaiser. He is, unfortunately, 2 tenths out of the top 3 already. And although he's 5th at the moment, there's plenty of potential for lots more sleds to fall into that yawning gap between him and bronze. First of whom might be Craig Thompson, finished 4th here last year.
Next on the start.
Raced 5 times here in the World Cup. And last year was only 6 thousandths of a second out of the medals. Bronze medalist was Christopher Groothair, and he just managed to hold on in front of Craig Thompson. 33rd World Cup start for the 31-year-old Brit. And a 4:59, that's an excellent getaway. So tying with Yin Cheng, our current leader for the best start. Still tied, now slightly steering in front. Don't forget how wild and skiddy Yin was down at the bottom. If Craig Thompson can keep the speed on board and avoid those slides below 14, then he has a chance. The toe work going on here. Little wild into 13. Here we go. Oh, and 2 tenths back. Dragging the speed out of the sled. All of the steers that we could hear. And now big waves in 16 as well. Across the line, 6th place, 3/4 of a second back. Well, 2 different runs, down to 10, he was definitely staying level. There's Martin's Ducours. And then below 10, all those whiplash transitions. The timing was not spot on. And he went from just a whisker in front to 3/4 of a second back. Yincheng of China is our leader. 10 down, 22 to go here in Sigulda. 11th of our 32 starters. Race 6 of the Men's Skeleton World Cup European Championships. He's our Olympic gold medalist, Christopher Groothair, bronze medalist here last year. He was European silver medalist in Altenburg, where he won 2 world championships. He is wearing the yellow jersey of our points leader. Solid getaway for him, 4:75. But like so many of the German sliders, he doesn't make his medals in the start area. He makes them on the way down the track. It is a short track, only 1,420 meters, and very busy from here on in. Big looping corners. Lots of toe work, 4 tenths back, 5 tenths back now. He's going to find himself pretty much, I think, where Craig Thompson did. Top 5, top 6, maybe not even ahead of Thompson at the line. The silver medalist last year, 6 tenths back, 50.83. Beg your pardon, bronze medalist. So he beat Craig Thompson to the line last year for the bronze by 6 thousandths. And he is 16 hundredths ahead of him after 1 heat. So Craig Thompson of Great Britain not having a great run. Christopher Groothair not having a great run either. Felix Kaiser is 600ths in front of him in 4th. Chen Wenhao 300ths in front of him in 5th. So there are sliders to overcome. The question is whether he can find a better run. What about Jung Seungui up to Lillehammer? He was wearing the yellow jersey at the World Cup points there, having an absolutely standout season. 3 World Cup medals this season. December 2021, his only podium finish here, took a bronze. And that equaled the best Korean finish. Yoon Sung Bin took 2 bronze medals in his race here in 2020. Jung with another very quick getaway. 4:56 is the fastest we've seen. And he is flying at the moment. Lots and lots of toe work. Only a couple hundreds back though. And all of that scratching has gone from 200s to 4/10 back. Almost the lowest speed we've seen. He's going to be 3/4 of a second back, right with Craig Thompson at the line, 79 hundredths back. Jeff Payne. Well, it is a tough track. It is hard to be quiet right at the start in the first 3 or 4 corners. And if you're not, you lose speed, you never get back. And then below corner 10, it's just like one long cut crash. Trying to get the steers right there. If you're good into 10, it pretty much laces you together until corner 14. And then 14, 15, 15, 16, there's 2 long straights. If you don't have the speed, it's all gonna snowball downhill from there. Banis of Italy, our World Championship silver medalist. Last year on this track, tied for 13th place. 3 World Cups here last season was the best of them. So he hasn't even been in the top 10. This is a 25th World Cup race. Let's see what he's got this morning. Fast start 4:56, 4:57. Excellent stuff. 200s quicker than Yin Cheng, the start record holder and our current leader. But immediately, those hits early on, 1400s back. Where is he going to find anything out of this run? Answer, he's not, is he? He's gone away before turn 4, and you can hear all this constant toe tip all the way down. Picks his toes up now. The result is a long drift into the wall. Height in 15. Falls out of 16. Falls out of 15 into 16. Across the line. 8/10 back. Well, one of the shortest tracks. It's got some of the big gaps among our field that you'll see. Late exit, driven back up the wall by centrifugal force, puts him into a big skid. And again, down below corner 10. If you're not right in 10 and 11, you're not going to be right anywhere. There just isn't time or ice to sort it out. So another one stumbles. Amadeo Banyas down for the first time. Let's see what Felix Seibel can produce. Not even halfway into the field yet. The 26-year-old had his first individual World Cup medal in Lillehammer. He got a team bronze in St. Moritz. That's why I say that. Raced here in the Intercontinental Cup in December 2021. That's his only previous appearance here. This is his first European Championships and only his 6th World Cup start. 4:78. Again, not the greatest of starters, but he's proved already this season, and in Lillehammer last week especially, that he can drive. He has got the feel for the sled. However, 1900s back at the start is now double 38 hundredths adrift. Quiet though. Little toe steer there into 13. Quiet out of 14. 45 hundredths back. 11th at the start. He's up to 8th place. This might be a top 6 run from Felix Seibel. And at the line, it's not a top 6 run, it's a top 4 run, 50.73. And you could hear the difference. Even if you weren't seeing anything, you could hear the lack of scratching, which is a sure sign that the athlete is doing a lot of toe steering, particularly on this track. Well, that is a great first run from Felix Seibel, and that really puts him in contention for the medals. 1300s behind Matt Weston. He's only 400s ahead of Felix Kaisinger, but he is the best German so far. And we've already had a 2-time world and 1-time Olympic champion from Germany come down in the shape of Christopher Grotehair, who's a 10th slower. Well, that's the damage this track does. Got a little bit of a nosebleed going. He's wiped it onto his face, I'm afraid. Yang Wengang, our Olympic bronze medalist. Well, Felix Seibel in his 6th World Cup. Jan in his 31st now. 17th here last year. His best result here in December 21, a 14th place finish. Now, can he match Yin Sheng? Not the start, for sure. 471. Oh, and straight into the wall on the run out of corner 1 down to 2. Skids and hits hard into 4. And the legacy of that, well, 1200s back, he'll be, what, 3600s back at the next clock, 4100s back. And again, listen. You and I would be making a lot more noise. You'd hear us screaming for a start, but so much steering going on here. 10th best speed. 9th at the start. He'll be doing well to be much above 13th or 14th. And at the line, it is 13th place. There's Patrick Shannon, one of the coaches for the Chinese sliders. Of course, the Chinese athletes, like the Canadians, like the USA, like the Koreans, not competing for the European Championships here. But they are still in a full field World Cup race. And Yang Wengang, 13th out of 15 sliders. He might struggle to make the second heat. Let's see where we get to. Halfway through the field, 15 down. We get to our 16th of 36, we're not even halfway through, 16th of 36 sliders. Mattia Gaspari from Italy, 11th here last year. He's done 5 World Cups here. 10th in November 2020 was his best, 11th in the last 2 outings. Lots of good screaming at the start. I don't know who that was. It wasn't Willi Schneider for sure. Nice and smooth so far from Mattia Gaspari. And that's really the secret here. It's not the explosive start, it's the lack of driving and dragging down the track. 486 is the getaway. So 2700s back early on. 7th best speed, although he's only 14th on the splits. If he can keep it neat and tidy down here, and he does, he's going to pick up a couple of spots. This might put him in the top 10. Amadeo Bannis' young teammate is 10th at the moment, and at the line, 8th place. And again, you could hear that that was a much quieter sounding run. And compared to Amadeo, who's only done 3 World Cups here, those extra couple of seasons of experience on this track have helped Mattia Gaspari 8th place. So that's exactly what I was thinking. Here's the exit, I don't know. Here's the exit of 14. Look at the heels. You can see them, so no toes dragging. Eyes just focused. Laser focus on corner 15. Decent height in 15. Comes out nicely, and that's where you keep the speed alive out of corner 14. Yeah. Sami Meyer next up for Austria, our 17th starter, 24 years of age, 3 World Cups here. His best was his first, begins like maybe 13th in 2020, 16th and 15th in the last 2 outings. 30th World starter, 4.75 getaway. I've just seen a top 8 run from Mattia Gaspari. Off start there was 1100 slower. And Sami sounding quiet here. Already into the top 10. He's undoing that slight lack of start. 3,800 back, top 10 runs so far. Keep it quiet, Sami. Nice so far. Nice takes it out of 14, not working too hard. But drifting away out of the top 10 at the moment. See the legs waving around a lot. Big first pressure in 16, across the line, 13th place. So ahead of Axel Jung by 100th of a second. All right, 11th at the start. Got up to 10th on the splits, and then it drifted away a little. Not sure we got the most comfortable of loads. Pretty decent looking run through 11. I think that's going to get a second heat. And now we get to our 18th slider. We are now halfway into the field. Here is Kim Ji-soo, the 29-year-old. Last year was 8th place. And his 3 World Cups have shown significant progress. 21st, 13th, 8th. Now, what he will not want to do is reverse that form today, but it does look like today's track is pretty tricky. 39th World Cup start for Kim. Most experienced of our Korean sliders, 4.61 getaway. Top 5 start. A little bit of a skid from 3, pretty clean into 4, dropping out of 6 nicely. Only a 10th back. Ooh, having to work hard in 11. And 13, exit 14, here we go. Keep it straight. Half a second back. Afraid he is going the wrong way. Only 15th best speed. Not getting what he needs out of the sled this morning. 5th at the start, 15th at the bottom. Well, he is behind Yang Wengang of China, and only 2 sleds behind him out of the half the field we've seen so far. So 200s behind Sami Meyer. We have 4 sleds covered by 200s of a second. And up to Amadeo Banis, 11th, 1100s, going from 11th down to 15th. Władysław Monobob learned to slide on this track. And as they always say here, if you learn on this track, nothing after will scare you. 12th last year. Best was in December 2021 when he finished in 6th position. And he's started all 6 previous World Cup races here. This is pretty much home ice for Vlad. Nice and quiet. This is what you want from a run. Neatly into corner 4. 4.90, the 17th fastest start. But he can make up for it if he has a good drive. Not bad in 11. A little bit of toe work going on down here in the quicker corners. Oh, roaring from side to side, from 14 to 15. Fifth best speed though. Might end up in the top 12 at this rate. He is 12th at the line, 51.06. So Vladislav Heraskevich from the 17th best start drives himself into 12th, and he's in that massive group behind Jung Seung-gui in 10th by just 300s. That's been an epic sort out just outside the top 10. Another good, strong run here from Vladislav Heraskevich. One of two Ukrainian athletes in the field. Our Youth Olympic silver medalist Yaroslav Lavrenyuk is back from Korea and sliding here. So next up, Jacob Salisbury from Great Britain. Bronze in the Intercontinental Cup here last January. Raced it in Europa Cup as well, so he does know the track. And Brits spend a significant amount of time pre and post season here as well. Let's see what he's got. Lillehammer, 10th place finish is World Cup best. And second fastest getaway. Lots of potential in this young man. Neat so far in the lead. Tying with Yin Cheng early on. Only 800 back. Needs to stay nice and quiet here. Dig into those mental notes that he got of this track. Still looking like a top 5 run with this kid into 15. Relatively clean into 16. This should keep him in the top 5. Looking for 4th place at the line. It is 4th place at the line. He is tied with Felix Seibel. Matthias Guggenberger punches the air there. 50.73. Well, early on the brakes, or toes, dragging the in-run. That's a really good run from Jacob Salisbury. And that shows that there is still speed in the track. Big smile and a little laugh there from Martin Stukors as he goes to get the sled. Martin's a 4-time winner on this track in 5 races. Nice exit out of 14. Not just little right-hand toe drag to straighten it up. Good stuff. Now, potential of a medal maybe. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yin Ching, Marcus Watt, Matt Weston, Jacob Salisbury and Felix Seibel are your top 5. 20 in, 12 to go. Next up, Rasmus Johansson. Well, the Dane, coached by Anja Selbach-Huber. Hi, Anja. And under the wing of the German team, 7th in Lillehammer. After what was a potential medal-winning first run, he had a really excellent run. The German absolutely had the setup spot on, and he benefited from that 4.74 start. Well, 4.78 getaway saw Felix Seibel into 4th place. So there is definitely potential here. He's got that kind of speed, if he can dig in there. Raced here in 2020 in Euro Cup, 2021 in the Intercontinental Cup. Decent exit out of 14, avoids the toast here, but his head's up a little. And that's going to slow him down a fraction in the wind. 13th at the start. Close to the top 10 at the bottom 11th. And that's keeping that speed alive. 100th behind Craig Thompson for 10th. 300s ahead of Jung Seung-gui, who's in 12th. Yeah, 74 start and an 11th place run at the bottom. Just 100th out of the top 10. Rasmus Johansson is having a very good season. Now I'm going to start scrolling down the timing screen to look at the bottom of the top 20, because I think that's where some of our athletes are now going to be worrying about where they're finishing up. Austin Florian of the USA shouldn't be in danger. 16th place here last year. 3 World Cups here, 19th, 24th and 16th. 24th would get him into the race this year. It didn't 2 years ago. 40th World Cup start for Austin Florian. So plenty of experience, and on this track as well, 4:58 getaway. Just Rasmus Johansson come from a start of 4:74 to the fringes of the top 10, so there is the chance to do that here. 4th best start for Austin Florian on the splits. He is 5th place at the moment. Only the 12th best speed, but if he can avoid too much steering in these quick corners, sounding bad. Here we go. Yawing down the straight. Still a top 6 run for Austin Florian. This might be his best trip down the track in Sigulda so far. 10th place, 50.90. So still speed in the track if you know where to look. 500s behind Mattia Gaspari in 9th, a 10th out of 7th place. And very easy to give that amount away. Well, there you go, look, this leg yawing under him, just going from side to side. Not quite straight down the straight. Out of 15. Again, little skid breaking in and over the brow. That exaggerates the drive.
Hello. It's okay. Let's make it better.
Top 10 run, mate. That's not bad in a field of 36. Okay, next up is Italy's Manuel Schwerzer, the 27-year-old. Last week equaled his World Cup best. 16th place in Lillehammer and La Plan. 24th World Cup start. Only time here was in February 2020. 4:78 getaway. First World Cup race on this track. 17th fastest start. Just one race weekend here under his belt. '20th best speed. He really does not want to drop below 20th in the rankings at the moment. Head up, watching for the line. 18th best speed, 17th best speed. Ooh, it's a little uncomfortable. This is going to see him struggling at the tail of the field. 21st ahead of Vladislav Polivac and Nick Timmings. That might be enough to get him into the second heat. Problem is, there are a lot of sleds still to come. 24th out of 36, still 12 more athletes. Definitely Manuel Schwerzer is not safe yet. I have to say, Yang Wengang and Kim Ji-soo in 19th might not be either, but Schwerzer almost backwards there, going down into corner 16 and unable to really control the pressures at all there. Just out of control down at the bottom. So from Schwerzer to Schlindner, these two have been next to each other in the starting order pretty much all season. Alex Schlindner, birthday last Saturday when we were in Lillehammer, turned 26 years of age. The only former handball player we've got in the field. 2 previous World Cups here. Best 14th in November 2020. 26th in December 2021. He needs a 14th style run. 15th at the start, out to 17th on the split already in this jam-packed field. 22nd best speed, splays the legs to stop the sled yawing on the exit 11. Comes pretty clean out to 14, and that's going to help because he's gone from 15th at the start down to 21st on the splits. Didn't need that hit. Where's he going to be? In the 20, at the line, just outside 21st. There is quite a gap between the tie for 19th, 9/10ths back, and 21st place, 1.4 seconds back. So there's a half-second gap. That might be enough. Well, this really does not help.
Yep.
Oh, not happy with that. And I think he feels he may not get a second heat. We will see. Dan Barefoot next. Matt Antoine with a sled. Matt did not race here in his World Cup career. Same as Lillehammer, so 2 tracks he doesn't know as a slider. Nevertheless, coach's knowledge definitely helping. Dan Barefoot's first World Cup race here, race in December 21 in Intercontinental Cup. Europe Cup in January last year as well, so he has got decent recent knowledge. 485 the getaway. And again, for Dan Barefoot in his first full World Cup season, making the second heat is going to really help with his knowledge. 21st at the start. Hovering around the top 20 at the moment. He's behind Alexander Schindler and Manuel Schwerzer right now, but that's a better exit of 15. Kind of sideways, whipping into 16. Is he going to be in the top 20 at the line? He's 21st. So he's now ahead of Schlintner, Schwerzer, Polivac and Kimmings. One more behind him, and he's in the second heat. That was a good run from Dan Barefoot. I'm pretty sure he's going to be in. I wouldn't want to put money on it necessarily. But lower down where the speed rises and you're really whipping from turn to turn, he actually looked a little more composed than the last few that we've seen. A little skid again, but it comes back to him. Just those toes hovering on the ice. Yeah, that should be enough, I think. 25 down. So now you need to beat the other sliders to get into the race. Van Asbroef of Switzerland next up. 5th World Cup for him, as it was for our American Dan Barefoot. He's 22, Junior World Championship bronze medalist. Has not previously raced on this track. So again, his 6 training runs were all about not crashing. Because you learn nothing from crashing other than it hurts, and you're pretty much aware of that already. 489, only 400s behind Dan Barefoot early on. '23rd start, drifting out a little bit. 24th place at the moment. Out of the 26 sleds so far. 9th best speed. This could really help him. Vincent Spoof is going to be ahead of Dan Barefoot by 600s in 21st place. That guarantees him a second run immediately. 51.36. No, it doesn't. Beg your pardon. No, he's 25. There's a lot more than 5 more sleds to come. That does not guarantee him a second heat immediately. What have we got? We got 27 to 36. We got 11 sleds still to come. Getting very ahead of myself. Well, that was a good bottom part of the track here. Look as the sled comes off here. Oh, he's just hovering on the ice. And steering left, steering right, steering left, steering right. Is that enough? Well, he might be in. He's ahead of Dan Barefoot. So 21st at the moment. Florian Auer of Austria next up. Tied for 13th here last year with Amadeo Bañez. And if he can match Amadeo, then he will be just outside 13th place on this run. Amadeo currently in 14th place. 5 World Cups here. His best was his first, 10th place in December 2018. He's been 11th to 15th since then. Outside the top 20 with 487. So he really now needs to glide his way through these early corners and then get the line right here. This is make or break out of 11. There's no time to adjust after that. Just being pummeled by the turns. Comes neatly out of 14. Needs the speed here. Has the speed. It's going away though into 16. Did not need that big skid. The speed looked good, but across the line, 25th. I fear he may not get a second heat from that, Florian Auer. Really disappointed. Exit 15. And he was 7th fastest on the run from 14 to 15. He's absolutely himself. Thomas Ducour's down there helping with the sleds, and here is where it all goes wrong. Hard out of 15, hits the wall very hard, and to compound it all, absolutely sideways, down into 16. Really hurts. I mean, that's a very hard hit, and definitely not helping.
Next on the start.
Livio Sommermatten, our youth Olympic bronze medalist. 2020, that was on home ice in St. Moritz. No previous races here. Made the cut in Innsbruck and St. Moritz. This is his 5th World Cup race. Starts 474. Oh, and a hit from 1 to 2. And another hit, and a skid into 4. And uncomfortable in the upper labyrinth as well. Whipped into 10 and 11. Ooh. 14th at the start. We're doing well to be in the top 25 at the bottom. Big height in 15. Legs akimbo on the exit. Not going to make the top 25, I don't think, even at the line. 26th place, 51.83. Do not think that Livio Sommermatten is going to get a second heat. And in your first visit to Sigulda, that's probably not a surprise. First time here. As we say so often, first visit to a track, training is just about learning how to try and not to crash. So Livio Sommermatten in 26th place so far, out of 28 sleds. All right, well, there you go. That looks like one and done. Next up, Belgium's Colin Freeling, 21-year-old in his 5th World Cup start. Raced here in 2020 and 2021 in the Europe Cup, both, all 4 races, top 20 results. World Cup test, 15th place in the field in Beijing. Let's see what he's got for us today. Does know the track, starts 5:02. And still, after that appendix surgery in Innsbruck, sure that his core strength is nothing like what it might be. And that is hurting at the start. 29th at the start. good form. 11. Let's see if he can get a clean exit out of 13 and 14. He does come straight out of 14, pretty straight anyway, skidding into 15, early height. Come back. Might find a place or two at the line, across the line, 28th place. So behind Vladislav Polivac, ahead of Nick Timmings of Australia. Again, 52.37 is probably not going to be enough for a second heat. Toe steer to try and get him off 11 in the right place. He knows that that's where you start stitching the bottom together. And then out of 14, came straight early on. He could feel the sled starting to move. You can see him starting to react before it breaks sideways. Not quite enough there, but disappointed with that, Glenn Freeling. Next up for Spain, our 30th slider is Adrian Rodriguez. 5th World Cup star for him. Mentor and former Spanish World Cup slider Ander Mirambel with the sled. Has not raced here previously. Didn't race in Lillehammer either. It was Eloy Fernandez who was in Lillehammer. Making his World Cup debut. 5th World Cup race for Adrian Fernandez of Spain. Let's see what he's got here. 4:50, 86 away. All right, so far, he'll hit into 4, pushes him away. That means that the upper labyrinth is going to be a bit of a catch-up session. And steady the ship into corner 10. Ooh, big wedge in 11, hits hard on the exit. Whoa! Well, the good news is that the sled, all that mass, is racing off down the hill away from him rather than behind him. I'm afraid Adrian Fernandez down and out, and that was a little bit of a bruising impact with the ball there. I'm sure he felt that quite hard. And again, first time here, these are the crashes that people have. Big height in 11. Second pressure rolls him off the woodwork, and then he plummets onto the ice. Body impact first, sled rolls over the top of him, and then fortunately he gets shot of the weight. Well, good to see fans out here this Friday morning. Just checking the track there. Don't think there'll be too much damage to the track. Say Friday morning, look at the clock. Friday afternoon already. Well, a couple of moments pause for Blake Enzi. Yincheng of China leads by nearly 0.2 of a second. Don't see anybody getting close to that from here on in. For the remaining riders, it's about fighting to make the second heat. Marcus Wyatt, Matt West and Jacob Salisbury, Felix is, Seibel and Kaisinger, all with plenty to challenge for. Chen Wenhao, Christopher Groothair, Mattia Gaspari, Austin Florian. Look how tiny the margins are when you look how big they are from first to third. Joe Cicchini with the sled, Blake Enzi with the cornfields of Alberta on his helmet and the big open skies of his native province. The maple leaf of Canada on the front. On the ice, Matt Weston's mum and dad down there with some other random rabble. Friends and family, I think we should probably say. I'm going to have to come up with a definitive group term for a group of Western fans. Matt Mob, maybe? Well, 30 sleds down. One crash so far for the unfortunate Adrian Rodriguez. See the runners on the sled, bowed, not straight, that's not effect of the camera. And then you can see the saddle covered in pink there. That is not only the handle that you push, but that's where you put your body into. Your arms are clamped around the outside of that, behind you, with your thumbs gripping the back of the saddle. So the bit closest to the coach's hand, which is the back, that's where your thumbs go. So head hanging just over the front, so you can get it down out of the airstream. And all the assiduous warming up, now slightly delayed. Little track hold. First of all, they had to grab the errant lead of Adrian Fernandez. And to add insult to injury, not only did Adrian Fernandez crash, but because he didn't cross the line, he's disqualified as well. There you go. Them's just the rules, I'm afraid. I don't make them, I just read them out. Okay, so getting ready to restart with Canada's Blake Enzi. Former speed skater. Maybe that wasn't dangerous enough.
Let's go, Blake. Come on, fire it up.
The 22-year-old in his 14th World Cup race. World Cup debut was here in December 2021. Last season he was 20th, raced here in the ICC in December 2021 as well. That's a good-looking getaway, 476. That's firmly inside the top 20, so let's see if he can keep himself there. Nice and quiet early on. One of the best runs into corner 4 we've seen in a long while. Maybe a little too much control, if there is such thing on this track. Well, we saw Yin Ching riding a bucking bronco, Kristen Bromley style, very loosey-goosey. Not sure the dirt matching sled are designed to be slid like that, but anyway, Blake Enzi in the top 20, nice exit. And that should keep the speed up. Top 20 speed. Oh, just drifting away from him a little bit. Should be in the top 25 at the line. He is 23rd, 51.47. Might be enough. 5 to go, and he has got more than 5 behind him. Is that enough? He's 23rd. If 3 of our remaining 5 go quicker, then he will be out. But that might just be enough for the second heat. See the polished patch. That's where Adrian Fernandez back and shoulders polished the ice when he hit. Blake Enzi comes out here. Little late, little flop, big skid.
Going back home. Thanks for watching.
Might be enough. Might see him a second time. 5 to go as we get to Ghana's Kwasi Frimpong. Another new track, like Lillehammer was last weekend. 5th World Cup start only for the 37-year-old who lives in Lake City. So let's see what he's got for us this morning. Or this afternoon as it is now, 488 getaway. Traditional tap into corner 4. That is all but unavoidable. Nice and quiet so far from a Kwasi Frimpong. Doesn't have massive speed at the start. Sprinter in his teens. Whoa. Working hard with the toes. Into and out. 13 and 15 on the wall. Exit of 15. Little tap dancing up to 16. It's a pretty neat and tidy run so far. Given some lack of experience across the line, 31st place. And that is a 52.99 for Kwasi. And when you're in a big team with lots of knowledge and lots of video, learning a new track is hard. When you're in a small team With very little coaching input, it's much harder still. And learning these new tracks is very tough. This is a really, really hard track to get to grips with. Kwasi doing a pretty stand-up job there. 52.99 run. Nice exit out of 14. Just a little late pressure. Skids into the wall. We've seen more untidy exits than that.
Thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Appreciate it. We made it down. Sigulda.
There you go. May not have to do it a second time this year either. Timon Drajanovski now for the Czech Republic. Only the third World Cup start for the 20-year-old youngster. 11th in the junior world, under 23 rather, junior worlds. Bronze medalist in 2023. Race here once, December 2021 in Europa Cup. 497. Needs to be finding more speed at the start. And this is going to make it tough for him to break into the field. 23rd at the moment, Blake Ensley, Canada. 24th, Alexander Schlintner. 25th, Manuel Schwerzer. Lots of self-preservation steers going on to get him down safely. No point banging yourself up, especially on your first trip here. In a big field like this, making the second heat always going to be tough for a newcomer. So don't add insult, don't add injury rather, to the list of issues with the track. 52.68 ahead of Kwasi Frimpong. So that puts him in 31st spot. And at the moment, it is still Manuel Schwerzer in the drop zone with 3 to go. Big height there for Timon Drajanovski. But again, as with every first-timer here, whether you're first time in Europa Cup or in World Cup, you just got to avoid getting hurt. We're heading in now to the World Championships in 3 weeks. You want to be fit. Hunter Williams from the USA, twice here in Europa Cup, best of 5th place last January in the first of the 2 races. It's his 3rd World Cup start for Team USA. Let's see how he is on this fast driver's track. 473 getaway. Unfortunately, rubs some of that speed off on the wall exit of turn 1. And sets off the entry to 5, to 4. Fourteenth at the start, already down at the bottom of the top 25. Again, as we saw with the Kwasi Frimpong, Timon Drajanovski trying to keep the speed on board, but look how much he's to the wall. His bib has been pulled almost off his shoulder. 29th on the split. And across the line, 29th place out of our 34 sliders so far. 52.28, 4/10 better than Timon Drajanovski. Not quite close enough to the top 25 to make it in. Florian Auer and Livio Summermatter are 26th and 27th. They will not get a second heat. They are the first 2 that don't. Big, big height for Hunter Williams. Exit 14. Looking down the straight, immediately he feels the corner ending under him, but still had late exit steer going on. All right. 2 to go. This is our Youth Olympic silver medalist from Pyeongchang last week. Yaroslav Ravenyuk, just 16 years of age. Now, his grandfather is the brother of Mikhail Heriskevich, who's holding the sled there, Vladislav's dad. So this is Vlad's second cousin, first cousin once removed, nephew, not sure, but related anyway. Under 20 Junior World Championship bronze medalist this year and Youth Olympic silver medalist. This is only the 6th track he has ever slid on. First time here in a race. Only his 2nd World Cup start. So 5:13 getaway for the 16-year-old. He's not going to make the field, but he is a Youth Olympic silver medalist. A great start to a young career. Oh, and he too crashes. Hang on to the sled, he can. Out of 15, whoa! Should make it out of 16 and up to the line. The speed will be very low indeed, but he does cross the line. So at least it will be counted as a finish, 56.44. Well, he was not going to make the second heat anyway, and that crash absolutely guaranteed that. But welcome back to the World Cup to Jaroslav Lavrenyuk. Looks like he's a little bruised. He'll be a lot more bruised in the morning. Exit 14, he came down early. Centrifugal force still pushing the sled up the corner as it ended and became the vertical wall and out. Yeah, he's going to have a very stiff neck tomorrow and probably a headache much of the day today. I think recuperating coffee and biscuits in Mr. Biscuits. And finally, his first World Cup start of the season for Canada's Mark Lynch, only his 10th World Cup. Last World Cup was in Altenburg, January last year, has not raced here. So this is a baptism of fire for Mark Lynch. .486 getaway, 25th fastest. Now, in other World Cup tracks, he definitely has a chance to qualify. First time out here. You can hear a lot of toe steering going on. Just missing the timing a little. You only need to miss it a little to have to work really hard. 32nd best speed. Bits of tape flying off the sled, all the toes of the shoes, not sure which. And across the line, 52.76. Well, he got down without a crash, and 2 have not. But an untidy dismount, let's say, at the end of the run. And Mark Lynch, 33rd out of our sliders. So Alexander Schlint and Manuel Schwerzer can breathe again. They do make the cut. Florian Auer does not. Nor do Livio Summermatter, Hunter Williams, Colin Freeling, Nick Timmings, Timon Drahanovsky, Mark Lynch here, Kwasi Frimpong, Jaroslav Lavrenyuk, and Adrian Fernandez. And the man with one of the wildest looking rides is at the top of the track, Yin Cheng of China. Rode the bucking Bronco, lead the field by 0.2 of a second. Can he hang on in front? That would be a momentous day for the Chinese slider. Never had a World Cup medal and leads the field by 1900s. Look at them racked up outside of the top 3 though. A tie between Jacob Salisbury and Felix Seibel. 400s back to Kaisinger, 300s back to Chen, 300s back, 300s back, 200s back. And then Craig Thompson, Rasmus Johansson, Chung Seung Gui, Amadeo Banis, Vladis Peruskecic, Ludwig Stefayet, Sami Meyer. I mean, this is going to absolutely go off in the second heat, all the way down from 10 to 20, basically about 1500ths of a second. Insane. Manuel Schwerzer is in. Florian Auer is out, does not make it through, and nor do the rest of our field. So we will go 25 down to 1 checks time at 12:55 local in 21.5 minutes from now. That is 10:55 GMT, and that is 05:55 if you're still awake on the East Coast. Until then, From me, Martin Haven, the IBSF TV crew. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in a little over 20 minutes. Bye for now.